Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer. Welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. And I'm not forgetting about you melon farmers out there as well. All right. What we're going to have a look at today is we're going to have a look at a couple of multi-tools, and one of them has replaced the other, and let's kind of go over whether or not it would replace it for you. All right. So what we have here is we've got our Leatherman Wave. It is my very first multi-tool that I got, so it is worn in absolutely beautifully. I really, really like the way that this is broken in. This Charge TTI, I ended up buying this pre-owned, and it's not as worn in. Had I used this at work, I think it would be as worn in. But I want to kind of go over the feature set and whether it's worth it or not for you to kind of spend that extra bit of money to go from the Leatherman Wave into something like the Charge TTI. I've got some thoughts on that, and we'll have a look at them. We'll kind of do a little bit quick comparison of the tools, and then I'll let you know where I'm at, okay? Just give me 1 second here. I had to grab the cases here. Of course, now one of the big differences here is we're comparing here. This is a Leatherman Wave, not the Leatherman Wave Plus. Now, the Leatherman Wave Plus has got themselves a set of removable CM154 cutters there inside there, like you can see here. These cutters are removable, so if you happen to get into some hardened wire and you chip the tip a little bit, it's easier just to replace those two little hardened wires. Plus, they will cut through harder material than these ones, although I've never had an issue just cutting wire with the regular ones. But the regular ones are not removable, so if they do break, you got to send it in for your 25-year warranty, and they will probably send you a new set with removable pliers. They'll probably send you a plus because Leatherman's warranty is world renowned. Now the tool set on both of them are very, very similar. You've got 19 tools on the Leatherman Charge TTI, but you've got 18 here on the Wave. And I'll just kind of quickly go over them a little bit here. You've got a 2D bit holder set on the side here. You've got yourself a kind of a can opener, bottle opener, as well as wire strippers here. That little V cut is the wire strippers. You've got yourself a ruler here. You've got your needle nose pliers with your cutters. And then on the inside, you can't really tell here on the inside, there is, in the very, very bottom end of that cutter, that's actually considered the hard wire cutter. So if you're doing some piano wire or something really, really tough, you use the very inside there too as well. Okay, now you've also got on this side, you've got kind of a large flathead. You've got a small bit holder with Phillips and flathead for glasses. And you have the tool that I overwhelmingly used besides the pliers is these scissors. Leatherman makes a fantastic set of scissors, and despite their diminutive size, they work very, very well. Now, I mean, I'm not going to do arts and crafts with the grandson, cutting, a whole bunch of paper for paper mache, but if I needed to cut out a coupon, or I needed to snip a thread, or cut, a little piece of cloth, and I've got these, they work perfectly. And now we'll close these all up because now all of those tools are completely lockable too as well. Move that inside there. There we go. And so the locking button here is on the side. And both tools have that locking function. All right. This one here happens to have the hidden kind of lanyard hole. So you can tie your lanyard to it. And that just basically gets tucked inside there. You need to grab it and kind of pry it out. It's hidden. And as a matter of fact, both of them have got that hidden pry bar, despite this one having hidden lanyard hole. All right, so now if you want to do some wire crimping, the wire crimping spot is right inside there. So when you close these up, you've got yourself a whole set of tools there too as well. And they are a little bit tactile. So you can feel this one here has got some jimping. Well, that means that jimping there, you've got your serrated blade. And it is a serrated chisel blade made of 420HC. And now 420HC, I mean, it's not like butter. It's not like a butter knife steel or anything like that. If it's heat treated right, like Paul Boss heat treatment for 420HC is a phenomenal steel. But I don't think they're doing a Paul Boss heat treat. It would look at sharpening that a little bit. And that goes towards something like this where we'll talk about it there. We've got a metal file on this side, and we've got ourselves a diamond file on this side. So you can, in a pinch, use it it'll sharpen a blade or something like that. But for the most part, it's used for kind of tidying up. If you look on top here, it's got some grit on it too. But on the bottom, You can use that as kind of a metal saw. I mean, you're not gonna, hack through a quarter-inch steel, 22 inches of it or anything like that. But you will need, if you had to, kind of get into some light metal and in there and give it a little bit of saw, it works no problemo. On the other side now, you've got your one-handed open, one-handed close. As you can see, this has been used quite a bit. Your one-handed, one-handed closed flat blade, or this is a kind of a drop point blade, or just a regular non-serrated blade, and it is a liner lock too as well. And we've got here on the other side, which is a really, really excellent wood saw. I am so impressed with the wood saws on the Leatherman tools. You can hack through a 2x4 with this in less than 20 seconds. And I've done it personally. Put one in a vise, I blasted through it like nothing, and I was so blown away at how fast it actually went through that wood saw, or it went through that 2x4. And then you can see there. So there is your Leatherman Wave. It's not the Wave Plus, the Wave Plus. And it came with as far as I'm concerned, this is my favorite Leatherman carrying case for putting on your belt for the size. Because when you put this inside here, it virtually disappears on your belt. It doesn't stick out a huge amount. It does, it has a couple little spots here that you could add, a flashlight or a ferro rod or something like that. I mean, so there is a little bit of room for other tools in there. You could tuck something back in there. It's not super versatile, but it is small when it's on your belt, and that's a huge, huge plus for that. All right, so let's go over to the Charge TTI. Let me have a quick sec here. And just to let you know here, this one here is... what's the weight on this? 8.5 ounces. So it's a little bit heavier than your average tool or your average knife, but you get lots of stuff with it. All right, let's go over the Charge TTI. You're going to get yourself titanium bolsters, which are, it's premium. I mean, 6140 titanium is, I think, the best titanium that you can make out there as far as for strength and stuff like that. People really, really covet. That's the titanium if you're going to use in the cutlery industry. That's what you want to use. All right, of course it does. It has an excellent set of scissors. It's got yourself a eyeglass holder, and then you've got yourself a flathead, as well as a kind of a little bit of a chisel. I'm not exactly sure what that little thing's for. I think it's more for getting it out than an actual tool. If that is a tool, hey man, I don't mind learning. Let me know. Let me get that down in there. And then, of course, everything does have the same kind of lock to it. And you can see here, it does have the lanyard, but it also has a pocket clip. But it does come with a bigger lanyard, if I have it somewhere. So you could take that pocket clip off and you could put a large lanyard right here. But I just don't see why you'd want to install this lanyard when you've got this one already on the tool, unless for some reason you want it on that side. I have no idea. I think you're better off using this because, and I'll get to it in a second, but I think you're better off using the clip. All right, over on the other side, you've got yourself again 2D bit holder, and then you've got yourself a can opener as well as a wire stripper and a bottle opener too as well on that side. And those lock into place too. I just didn't put them out all the way to lock them. Here you've noticed that your pliers are just a little bit different. You've got yourself here now they've used this for, I said in the past that this is for crimping butt connectors. I think I made a mistake there. I think it's for crimping like blasting caps. I think, so if you get this and you go into the army and you're a demolition expert, I think that's what that's for is cramping or crimping blasting caps. Your back here is where you're going to crimp all your wire butt connectors here in there. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a notch inside there, and that'll crimp them. You've got your 154 cm replaceable cutters. With the very bottom, you can see that notched out. That's your hard wire cutters right there. Of course, it's still excellent. You can pluck your eyebrows with these, and that's the way you want your pair of pliers. Now, when we close these up, these are not near as broken in as these Wave, and that seems to be a little bit of an issue, I guess, until these break in. But I would imagine they'll break in excellent. Same thing here. You've got yourself your little bit of a jimping on the bottom that lets you know that you're going to deal with the serrated blade. Now, this is where the 19th tool comes in, is you've got yourself a gut hook here for if you're skinning some animals, or if you're in there and you're trying to free somebody from a seatbelt, that'll work there too. So the gut hook there, that's the extra tool. You're going to have yourself on the other side, you're going to get yourself, like I said, a wood saw that is amongst the best of any sort of multi-tool wood saws. Through a 2x4, 20 seconds. Bob's your uncle. It's held into place by a liner lock too as well. Now this side here is a little bit stiffer here. And this is where I think you're going to really, really want to make the switch to the Leatherman TTI. You've got yourself an S30V blade steel on your knives here. S30V is the first steel that was designed to be a cutlery steel. It's got great edge retention. It's got good toughness. It's got good stainlessness. It's got good edge holding ability. It's the steel. If you're going to have yourself a multi-tool and you want to put a steel on it and not break the bank, S30V I think is the way to go. So you are got tremendous tool steel on there. All right, and then over, of course, we have got. Oops, I went the wrong side there. We have got the good old file, crosshatch file. You've got yourself the same metal saw as well as diamond file here. And this diamond file is actually quite a good little shaping file. It's just pretty decent ergonomics. I like the ergonomics on the Charge TTI. It just seems to fit my hand a little bit better. I've got no huge problems with the Wave, but I just like the way that this one fits in my hand. It just feels a little bit more, I don't know, a little more upscale. Okay, so which one are you going to want to buy, I think? Well, I think a lot of it depends on your lifestyle. A lot of it depends on your pocketbook. I mean, if money's no object, buy the TTI. No doubt about it. It's a better multi-tool. It's got better knife steel in it. It's got better all-over materials. It's got the little extra tool. It's a better way that way. But in, let's just see here, in the States, price-wise, you have gotten right now for $199. In the States, the Wave is $119. So you're looking at $90 more tool. Is that S30V and the 154 cm? Is the S30V that much to you? Well, we'll try to attempt to justify it. If you're looking in Canada here, it's $269 for the titanium TTI and $161 for the Wave, and you're going to get the 420HC. All right, so if you are the type of guy who has a multi-tool that throws in your bag, that you're going to use it for kind of a little bit of emergency fix, possibly, you're not going to use it every single day, and you don't need that extra tool steel or that extra knife steel, I think the Wave is the way to go. But I mean, if you are going to be, if there's a one tool solution for you, if your main knife and your tool is going to be on your hip and you're going to have no other stuff there, like you don't have like a pocket knife, you've just got your Leatherman Charge, and that's it, I think you definitely want to go with Leatherman Charge. The knife steel is that important because you're going to be using this knife way more. I mean, if you're going to be cutting a bunch of cardboard up, you're going to be doing it with your main knife, not your multi-tool knife. But if you're sitting there chopping a bunch of cardboard up, you're going to be using your multi-tool knife. There's no doubt about it, and it is S30V, and it will hold an edge for an extremely long time. The other thing that I really like, even though this is a serviceable tool, and I happen to carry a good knife with me all the time, some too, I like the fact that this comes with this little bit of extra big kits. That's kind of a Charge TTI that comes in the thing, or comes in the case with it in the box. And even though I sometimes would prefer to have a smaller case on my hip, if I was going to be using this for just belt carry, the smaller the better as far as I'm concerned, because I hate when this stuff gets snagged on chairs. I like the fact that this has got those in the back. You've got the opportunity to carry another bit kit in the front or another tool. You could put a ratchet extender on this one. You could put a ferro rod in this one. This case is so much more versatile, and I don't know. I mean, I've had some my Surge, which I've had for not quite as long as the Wave, but I had the Surge in a very similar case than this, and it held up very decently. This a little bit of rubber here, like all the time, it gets a little bit worn. That's the thing that's going to be the worn the most. But this canvas or nylon or whatever this is actually quite tough. I would hope that Leatherman would make a little bit different version of this case. I wish they would make kind of a Molly compatible where you could use it on your Molly. You could use it with some Velcro inside there. And I also wish that they would make themselves a smaller leather version for somebody who wants the most compact, the absolute most compact case that they can get on their hip. I wish they would make something like that as maybe just an aftermarket accessory. So that's my kind of my feelings on it. If you can afford it, go with the Charge TTI, especially if it's going to be your one multi-tool and your knife combined in your pocket, no other knives. I think you'd be crazy to go without that one. But if they're going to both sit in a pack, I mean, this one is more than serviceable. I don't know if the S30V blades on this is worth $100. I don't think so. But when you add just the multi-tool alone, when you add just the multi-tool, I don't think that's $100. But when you add, I think, an upgraded case, a bit kit, the room for the other stuff, I think it's very, very close. I think you could justify the extra $90 or $100 with what you're getting overall, rather than just the upgraded materials with the titanium and stuff like that. And resale down the road is going to be something that's, I think, valuable too as well. I mean, there's so much more of these Waves out on the landscape than there is the Charge TTIs. When if you have one up for sale and you've got this one for $100 and this one for $160 or $170, well, I think most people are going to spend a little bit extra money to get that quite a bit better tool. So you will get some more resale down the road. I'm going to stay with the Charge TTI. It's going to be going in my bag. I'm not going to hip carry it because I don't need to hip carry multi-tools anymore. But I am going to say, hey, Leatherman Charge TTI, you're the one hitting my bag. This one here, sentimental value. I might give this to my daughter. I got a grandson along the way. I've got some good relatives. I might put this in their pocket or on their hip. And I'm going to use the Charge TTI. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Please keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.